Hi, Scapers, Sunbyaku here. Just wanted to upload a brief guide on how I generally tend to take on Kerapac. So far, I have around 1600 solo Kera kills, and I'm normally able to hit between 4 minutes 45 and 5:15 with my rotation. Now, if I seriously mess it up, I'll probably be around 5:30. I know when I first started, it typically got to about 9 minutes before I managed to kill them off. So I'm hoping that you two may be able to get a little better using this guide. Now, careful mention to some brilliant abilities that would be worthwhile investing in, one of which is the Double Surge, Magma Tempest, Greater Sunshine, Divert, and also the new dive ability that came out with the Succession quest makes jumping through lightning a lot more bearable. And also a perk that will work well with this rotation is Relentless, because who doesn't love free adrenaline? Now, I'll give you some example kills outlining the rotation. It's not a perfect example kill, but that's okay. I'll talk it through. Now, let's get into it. So you'll see as I go into the chamber, I'm already using Insight Fear, and I'll have my rebounders and seismics. I will surge in, make sure I'm all potted up and everything like that. I will use surge again, drop a sunshine, followed up by an adrenaline pot. And then straight away afterwards, I would then go into a divert. This is going to give you adrenaline, which is great. When Kerapac lands, you'll target cycle, use smoke cloud and Vuln Bomb, and then you're going to wait for his hit to land before swapping over to your FSOA or your dual wield. Use G-Conk, Dragon Breath, Corruption Blast, followed by Magma. Then you'll straight afterwards use Tsunami and Walk Under. Follow up again with G-Conk, use a Guthix special, and then you switch to your Armadillo Battle Staff afterwards. Follow up with your FSOA spec, G-Conk, into a Wild Magic. Where possible, you'd then use Asphyxiate. You can do, it's not mandatory. Then followed by Omni Power, and then followed up with your Armadillo Battle Staff specs. Now you'll notice here I didn't actually use my Battle Staff specs. I just kept using the Guthix spec, which was just fine. Once he lands, you're going to move off to one side, where you'll then use Tendrils, and you should still have easy enough time with plenty of adrenaline, I know. That being said, though, it's better to have adrenaline than not have it. Normally, you're around 50%. Afterwards, you'll walk away. You may need G-Conk, but I would advise you just go straight into an Armadillo Battle Staff spec, top up with G-Conk where you need it, and yeah, then you just start using basics. Now, at this point, it would have been worthwhile using Exsanguinate, but if you haven't, just keep on your Insight Fear at this point now, and you're going to dump 3 bleeds onto him. Use your Corruption Blast, Magma, then you use a Detto, followed into a Combust. Basically, all you're doing is building to 100% adrenaline. Now, after his second attack, at that point, you're going to want to use Time Warp, and then you're going to want to use Sunshine. Walk underneath him straight away. Switch into your dual wield, use a G-Conk, then use any other ability followed up with a two-handed ability, and then you're going to want to use Tsunami. After this, swap to Exsanguinate, and Time Warp should end around then. Use your FSOA spec, use G-Conk to top up your adrenaline, use Wild Magic into an Asphyxiate or straight into a Omni Power, and then again, you're going to want to be using your Armadillo Battle Staff specials. And what you're going to want to do is hold off for the last jump, which should have maybe about 5 to 10 seconds left. And on the last jump, that's when you're going to use tendrils to just make sure that you're getting as much adrenaline out of it as possible. And yeah, that's it. Hopefully you'll be lucky with crits. If that's the case, then you're more likely to skip on the lightning. If not, though, that's fine. You're going to be able to use your movement techniques to avoid it. But yeah, at this point, you're just DPSing him down. Use some basics, maybe use a Gothic special, whatever works for you. At this point, you're going to want to switch back to Insight Fear and just start building up stacks on him. Dump all 4 bleeds into him as they'll carry over into the next phase, or sorry, 3 bleeds, but also use your detonate as well to good effect, and then couple that with a combust again. So you're pretty much just repeating. So use a couple of basics, including the G-Conk, wait till he gets to his second attack, then you're going to use a Time Warp, and then you're going to use Sunshine. After this, you're going to walk underneath him just as he says, I'll tear right through you. Switch to your dual wield, use G-Conk, and just keep building up to 40% adrenaline to use Tsunami. After you've used Tsunami, you're going to then want to use Exsanguinate, and then you're going to want to use your FSOA special. Now, if you get really lucky with crits on the previous phase, you may not be able to use your FSOA special straight away. That's fine. Use G-Conk and a Wild Magic, and just keep ticking down the clock basically for your FSOA spec. Once that's done, drop an Omni onto him and drop an Armadillo Battlestaff special onto him. At this point, he's probably going to be just about ready to jump again. So you're going to move, and you're going to use an Armadillo special, or if you don't have enough adrenaline for that, use G-Conk and Dragon Breath. He'll jump again. You're going to do exactly the same thing. Move out of the way. You're then going to follow up with either a G-Conk or an Armadillo Battlestaff spec. And then on his last jump, you're going to use tendrils. Now for this, you may need to use or have a limitless sigil. They are fantastic. After this, you're just going to keep using specs. Maybe another wild magic, maybe some basics, maybe a Gothic spec, whatever works. The idea is you're just looking to bring him down to 50k before the lightning. If you don't get there before the lightning, it's not a problem at all. This is why I recommend you have double surge as well as access to the dive ability, because you'll see me use it here. I'll move out to avoid the first lightning bit. I'll surge back in, and I'll just keep DPSing him down to 50k slowly, just waiting basically for the lightning to go ahead. Now, sometimes you may not actually need to use any surges or anything like that, because what you can do is just go straight into your clone and avoid all the lightning. Worst case scenario, though, you can use dive like I've just done here. Go into your first clone. I recommend going into the northern clone. Use a vitality pot, and then you teleport into the western clone. Move to attack the southern clone whilst eating health to full, and drop a time warp with a sunshine and a tsunami during that time warp as well. You'll see that just here. Sometimes you might need to build to 100% first, but that's absolutely fine. So yeah, building up to Tsunami, as you can see here, I've not used a replenishment pot for this. So straight into Tsunami under Time Warp. After that's done, I'm not going to use my FSOA spec. I'm going to use a G-Conk, followed by a Wild Magic, followed by Asphyxiate. And then by then, the Echo of Kerapac should be about ready to start. If not, flick back to G-Conk or something like that. And then afterwards, you move to the Echo of Kerapac, drop an Omni. Then you use a Gothic special, and these are obviously these specs are stored in your amulets, and then you just rinse and repeat with G-Conk, Dragon Breath, and then Gothic's spec again. You surge in between, and here what you're going to want to do is drop a couple of bleeds whilst building yourself up to 100%. Make sure you've got Insight Fear as your main spell. Eat up if you need to, maybe even use your Excalibur special. And then what you're going to want to do is use Time Warp, followed by G-Conk with an Adrenaline Potion, followed by Tsunami. And if you've got access to the Limitless Sigil here, that would be great because you'll then be able to follow straight into a Devotion, which is really good. And then Time Warp should just about finish. You then want to use your stored FSOA special and then just kill him off because basically you just want the extra couple of seconds on the Devotion. If you haven't done it, this is a great point now to switch over to Blood Barrage. Hit another Vuln Bomb on Kerapac. You're going to use Wild Magic, Asphyxiate. If you can, use Omni Power, and you're just going to go for it with the Armadillo Battle Staff special attack. Occasionally, what you might need to do is build yourself up a little bit more adrenaline. By all means, use Tendrils and G-Conk to your advantage, and then just go straight back in with the Armadillo Battle Staff special. And yeah, this is an example, I think, of about 4 minutes 40 or so. I think the next one's a little bit faster. I can't remember. But yeah, that's how I do Kerapac. Now, another way to fit in just a couple more kills under the aura is when I teleport back towards retreat, I'll go straight back to my chest, hit my preset. I will walk down slight diagonally, and then you'll actually see me surge through pretty much through the chest and through the stairs, and it means that you don't have to run. You'll see it in just a second. This actually has helped me fit in an additional kill under aura time. So I click diagonally, and then I surge through the chest, down the stairs, and then that frees me up to run straight over to the crystal. I think normally I get anywhere between 9 and 10 kills an hour using this method, and actually banking for very short periods of time really does help. So you'll see on the right hand side as well what kind of stuff I'm using. So I'm using Crypt Bloom, Cinderbanes, Blasty Booties. I have an FSOA, Seismics, and Rebounder. So again, we're going to do exactly the same thing. So we're going to surge, we're going to drop a Sunshine, followed up by an Adrenaline Pot, and then into a Divert. I'll be using Soul Split for this. And then you'll see me just pretty much do it again and again and again. At that point, it's quite simple. You don't have to follow that rotation every single time, but it works well for me. I find that clever placement or clever timing, for tendrils is what really, really helps me here. So after the first jump in phase 1, I will use tendrils, and then I try and save tendrils for the last jump on phases 2 and 3. I found that generally tends to help me, but obviously it's a great bit for adrenaline gain. So if you find that you're lacking adrenaline, that will really help. But on the right hand side, you'll see what I have in terms of perks and armor and stuff like that. But yeah, let me know what you think. I'll shut up for now. Watch the rest of the video. If there's anything that you want to know, just give me a shout. Thanks.